Welcome back to Wild Space, everybody. We've got more Trilogy Fantasy Draft gameplay for you today. Round 2 of the matchups. If you don't know what the format's about, go back and check out the draft video. And part 1, I do a little more of a preamble. We're just getting right into gameplay. Enjoy. All right, welcome back. We got our second set of matches here. This one is Darren and Steve. We are looking at the bands Cad, Kira, and Yoda versus Kylo, Sabine, and Vader. Lots of blue-green villain in this match. Sabine gets banned and Cad gets banned. And let's see what we're going to start out with here. Steve's going to start with initiative. He will lead with Yoda. Darren's going to start with Vader, see if he can aggro him out in space. So yeah, depending on how Darren's deck is built, Vader normally has a lot of cheap plays to absorb Force Throw, but that's the yellow version, so I'm not sure exactly what the blue version looks like. As you saw in the last game, my inexperience playing against it led to me losing that match. But, I mean, the plus side is for Darren, the removal is spread out due to the draft over all these decks, so I don't know. Not sure, aside from Force Throw, if Steve had drafted any blue removal or not. He doesn't have Open Fire. That was in my deck, so I drafted that one. So we'll see. Oh, there's a Knowledge and Defense in Steve's hand, so that at least will be something. Darren only gets 5, less selection. 5 cards because of Colossus, but looks like he's got something to play turn 1. So let's see how it goes. It's going to be a Night Sister Warrior down for Steve, and the Vulture Droid for Darren. I'm imagining Darren won't have a lot of ways to interact on the ground, so he won't have the option of keeping his opponent off the Force. Knowledge and Defense is going to come through there. Make sure that Darren can't make a tie this turn. That is the kind of start that Steve wants. It's going to get replaced with another one. The Organized Play promo variant there. Looks like Darren has 2 large ships to exploit in his hand. The Malevolence up on the screen there being one. So we'll see if he can generate some ties and drop one of those bombs down. Awkward turn here for Darren. It looks like he's got this pilot and then pretty much nothing else to play. So he's going to put it out first, hope he can get the extra damage in. But Steve has the Force Throw, so that is going to spoil that plan. So it's a really rough start here for Vader. Needs to be able to generate some tokens to exploit one of those big things out, but just can't get initiative in order to make that happen and make use of Vader's ability. Steve will use his Yoda filter and then hit the base for 2. some point here. Preemptively put the damage up. Ooh, and something in space as well to contest. So, yeah, kind of ideal start for Steve. Not what Darren really wanted to see. Looks like it'll be Iden this turn for Darren. Hopefully that will stick around. Let him start getting some damage in. So even force throw here is not going to be able to take that out right away, but it's on a token, so Vader's not going to be able to make another token, which is unfortunate. Ki-Adi-Mundi, though, drawing some cards. Steve demonstrating how you should properly draw if you have Ray in your deck, just to make sure that you don't get it mixed into your hand before you can trigger the ability. And Iden's going to get into base. And again, a kind of another 2 turns in a row here where Darren's not really maximizing resources, so which is unfortunate. A system shock to take out the pilot. I'm guessing that was Steve's Chewbacca tech in there, but it'll work just as well. Now the shield's still on the tie, means that Darren is going to have something to drop Vader onto. So that is at least a little bit of light in a rough game for him so far. Night Sister Warrior chips in a couple damage. With the Vader deploy, there should be a couple extra tie tokens laying around, so maybe Darren will be able to finally slam one of those big ships down he's been waiting to play. Interesting, not deploying Vader right away. Maybe trying to bait out some resources, or maybe he wants to exploit first and then get Vader into a larger target. Steve's going to go to base with Ki-Adi. And now Vader will come out, okay. So lots of options there as far as exploiting. Oh, and we're going to plot. I believe, yeah, Trade Route Taxation, one of the new secrets cards. So with more units in play than his opponent, it's going to mean that Steve cannot use any action cards this turn. So no events like Force Throw, for example, would be a good one. Vader gets a swing in, equaling out the damage here. Yoda Flip is coming next turn, but he's finally developed a board and he has the option to put one more big thing into play this turn. Steve's cycling, digging through his deck. What Yoda does best. Filtering to find those cards he needs. guess I wonder, you can't really, there's no event that you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for a unit with Restore to go on the ground if you're Yoda, because Colossus has a lot of health still. Alright, we got a big exploit coming in, and that is the Malevolence. So now 2 big threats there for Darren. Steve has the Rebellious Hammerhead, so plenty of cards in hand to take out Vader. But the Hammerhead not quite statted high enough to trade with the Malevolence, so Malevolence should get a couple swings in. See if it's enough to equalize this game here, or I guess it's, despite the poor start from Vader, the base health is pretty equal. Steve is ahead because he's got Yoda flip still and he's got more cards in hand, but maybe Malevolence can just get there. I guess you could force throw a 7-cost card. The other game we saw Mace Windu Party Crasher, so that could be an option. More patrollers. Steve just kind of waiting to see what's going to get played here before he starts taking his actions. And here comes the other tank. He's going to drop that Separatist super tank there. Another big exploit target. Oh, the hyperspace disaster is going to come in and clean up the space arena. And now, if Yoda happens to have a Bo-Katan, he's going to be able to, yep, and he just shows it, flips Yoda. That's gonna seal the game. So yeah, when I was talking about not a lot of removal, I did not think that the hyperspace disaster would be an option. But yeah, if you see your opponents in our draft pool, I drafted Kazuda and Darren had drafted Vader Pilot. So smart choice to include there by Steve, especially when there's lots of options for Yoda to filter, the cards you don't need to the bottom. And yeah, they're gonna pack this up. That one is over. And we'll go on to game number 2. All right, so we've got our second game here of this match. Oh, I've got the wrong Kylo leader. There we go. We've got Green Villain against Green Villain. So Darren didn't have to change decks there, but since he's got to get a win with Vader at some point anyway, but figured, hey, you're bringing out your big deck. Let's have a slugfest. So Pershing comes down. Looks like there was no turn 1 play there for Steve, but he just grabs initiative so he can crushing blow the Pershing, which is, yeah, when you're kind of short on removal options, sometimes some of these fringe cards make it in. So that's kind of another fun part of doing the format like we did here with the draft. So that, yeah, limits your options, more cards see play. Kylo's going to cycle the lightsaber after putting super laser tech in play, so he's going to get to ramp here. I imagine Kira's going to play something to run into, but maybe not. Maybe not. I guess maybe if you're Kira, you're maybe content this turn to like resupply and then not deploy, not give him the ramp. I don't know. I'm not sure. I do not have a ton of experience in these like super grindy mirrors. But no, he's just going to develop to the board. Going to show him a Cad Bane unit, an Avenger, Power of the Dark Side, and to Count Dooku to get max value on the Childs in there. And Darren will be able to go to 5. He's going to play I Am Your Father. Again, we were talking about limited removal options. You got to get creative. Steve going to give him the cards. Or does he value? Steve will not give him the cards. Childson will go quietly into the night. We hit to 5. Kira probably not looking to flip onto an empty board. Kylo Ren still 1 turn away from flipping, since he has ramped with the Super Laser Tech earlier. Steve must have passed there. Darren goes with Vader. Looks like his only other playable card there was Del Miko. Guess he wanted to max his resources, or maybe he's trying to bait the Kira flip. That would be another reason I could see for that play. It's going to get cleaned up by a Power of the Dark Side. Could also been trying to bait that, because with Kylo eventually potentially flipping into something that is really big, you want to see those powers out of the deck. Now we've got 7 for Kylo, the option to flip here. We'll see if that's the play he wants to make. It looks like his hand, I can't quite make it out. On the other side, it looks like there's an Avenger and a Dooku. A couple other cards. Can't quite see for the Kira. Kylo's going to go with the Del Miko. He makes your opponent's events cost 1 more. Can be irritating against a blue-black villain deck. Kira's going to drop down a Sentinel, and we are going to see Kylo deploy. I believe there's a constructed lightsaber in the bin there for him to grab. So pretty formidable threat, but that Sentinel is going to be awkward. And I think Darren's got a retaliation, and can't quite see what else he's got, but looks like he maybe didn't have a ton of great options. So he's opting to go with the Kylo flip. But the problem with that is that it is going to prompt the Kira flip, and with Kylo at 8 HP, 4 plus 4 equals 8. So I think as Kira, you're pretty happy trading your leader flip for their leader flip. But yeah, it's an awkward spot for Kylo. I guess like the longer you delay, they could also just delay. And then no matter how much health you stack up, they're still going to take half of it. Yeah, it's an interesting dilemma. But I think Darren just didn't have a ton of good options. So he's kind of forced into this line. Yeah, and Architins, which he couldn't play yet. Retaliation, and one other card. Is it a Cantwell? Cantwell Cruiser, which he wouldn't have had the
disclose for. So it was either Kylo or nothing that turn. Oh, Childson. No, it could have been a Cantwell. I'm not sure. Either Childson or Cantwell. But Childson would have come down with 0 experience. So that was not something he was interested in either, I don't think. Delmico gonna make the trade there. There's a Grievous coming to party. Yeah, so it looks like Cantwell, I'm Your Father, Retaliation, and Childson. And it looks like the Architins got resourced over the I Am Your Father to make sure that he had the double blue and could get this lockdown going. So yeah, that's one of the new things with the past set. Those disclose costs make you resource in a way that you might not otherwise, right? It makes you think about your resourcing. And we're going into turn 8 for Steve. He claimed the initiative there. Must have something. He's looking to play. He's 1 turn away from the Avenger. I wonder what he's going to answer that Cantwell with. And he just slides Grievous over to the way. You're not going to ready anytime soon. Oh, he's got a walker. Slam the walker down, draw the card. No damage to heal. 6 damage in from the Cantwell, the first damage of the game. There's going to be a Mahdi and a Perilous on his own Mahdi to swing the Cantwell again after Steve had claimed. Alright, yeah, that's cute. And then he's going to play an I Am Your Father on the Walker, hoping to draw some cards. Steve says, no thank you. I'll take my damage. Especially since it doesn't even kill the Walker. So yeah, pretty awkward hand for Darren. The Mahdi Perilous was fun. Fun to get the Cantwell in there for the double swing. If you could have done that for lethal, that would have been flashy. And now it is Avenger time. That is going to be a problem. Darren was getting pretty light on cards too, so I don't know how many units he has. He's got Childson with no other blue cards. Rough. But it is enough to get in the way of that walker and trade with it. If Steve decides that is what he would like to do. Or he could maybe claim and hit the Childson with Grievous next turn. As long as he hasn't forgotten that he slid him off to the side there. Banished him from the Cantwell shenanigans. He does not feel that he needs the Purgil. He will take the 3 healing. And I'm assuming he did that just so that he probably thought that Darren was going to play another unit this turn. Ooh, Darren's hand is rough. Eager escort fighter, legal authority. Yeah, he probably assumed Darren was going to play another unit this turn, and so he wanted to start his first action with an Avenger to clear whatever Darren had played, so that's why he made that trade with the Childson, even though it may have seemed slightly wasteful for a 6/9 walker. The Eager Escort Fighter going on a suicide mission, chipping some damage onto the Avenger. You draw a second one. The 9 or 8 to base comes in. Oh, it's a takedown. That will work. Unfortunately, you are not developing your board as the Kylo. And so you're just starting to fall further and further behind. But sometimes that's the way it goes. A maul with no ambush, just to get a big beater out there. Darren's going to cycle this legal authority away, hoping for some better cards. This is the problem with Kylo. Sometimes those attachments are not what you are needing. Just looks like Darren can't draw units. See a craving power and a couple other events in there. Can't see what the fourth card was. Grievous getting into the data vault. Kapow! 4 damage. Interesting, he didn't go with the 7 from Maul right away. Perilous is going to punish that. I guess he's still really in board control phase. Oh, he's got an OB. Yeah, I'm guessing he was waiting for something to get played. Then OB on Maul, kill it, swing for 9. That makes sense. That makes sense to me. The dreaded Space Childson. Oh no, there he comes to the ground. Power, gunship, super laser plus, second Avenger. Yeah, that's this is would be the point in a tournament game where you would shake his hand, go next, especially if you're in a long grindy best of 3. But since we're playing for fun, you keep on keeping on. All right. Blue-green villain has the initiative. Opponent has 1 unit. You know it. You love it. It's your favorite play. The Avenger. Good amount of Marth song. If anybody is into Swedish metal, Viking metal. And if you're not, what are you doing with your life? Figure it out. Get on the Swedish metal, okay? Take down on the mall. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of Steve's cards have 2 for 1. Darren. We've got a Palp's Return for not Maul. Vader. It's like, then I'm tapped out. He claims, kills it with Avenger. This is really bad. He's going to play it anyway. There's power of the dark side. He did. Claim from Darren. Draws 2 cards. Third Avenger lurking in Steve's hand. Fist bump from Darren. Game to Kira. Match to Steve. 2-0. On to the next.
All right, we got our next match here. Randy's got Django, Tals, and Palp. I've got Kaz, Han, Ray. He bans Han, and I ban Django. Because all three of my decks are kind of dudes on the board type decks. Although seeing, spoilers if you haven't watched the earlier match, seeing Steve's decks take down Django, maybe I should have played into it. All right, we've got some Talzin versus Kazuda action here. Randy just deciding on his last resource. And then I'm going to start out with a 1-drop. Yeah, again, I could have... I just always played this 1-drop version of CAD for a long time. But since only one of the 4 of us has Power of the Dark Side, I probably could have played more 2-drop ships instead. But it is what it is. Karis for Randy. He's going to get 2 damage into the base. I'm going to answer back with 2 of my own. And then he's got a Grand Inquisitor. And I've got a red 5. So this is pretty standard. Gonna be just trading damage back and forth. His Talzin's Assassin might be some interaction in space. I might have some beguiles or outmaneuvers, but other than that, it's gonna be a lot of racing and damage calculations. I feel pretty comfortable because Kaz is good at racing. He's got the initiative here, though. Let's see what he starts out with. He's going to use Talzin's ability and target the red 5. So that smells like a Talzin's Assassin, trying to clear that red 5 off. So I think I'm just gonna say, nah, let's not do that today. And hop Kaz into that ship. Some damage to base. And I'm going to Heroic Sack for 7 because of the -1 from Talzin's ability. Start getting ahead. Considers something, trying to figure out. I know he feels like he's behind right now, so he's trying to figure out, how do I race you, or how do I interact with you or deal with you. It's a Dooku. And this surprised me a lot, because with the extra -2/-2 from Karis discarding the Force, it's a total of 7 damage. Let's see if I can pull them up there. And then, yeah, Karis spending the Force gets an extra -2/-2. So that really kind of was unexpected on my part. I was like, okay, Kaz is going to get a couple hits in. And then I think I had a Beguile in my hand, and I was planning to just like Beguile whatever he played that turn. But I can't Beguile Dooku. So we got to reestablish a red 5. And now without my leader and him having something that hits for 6, a little more worried about how this race might go. But we'll see. Gets big chunk in and gets the Force. Play a Boshek and draw some cards here. A-Wing and a Sanctioner's Shuttle. And he's got a Shatterpoint, so one of the good reasons to play a Force deck in this kind of strange little meta we had from our draft is that, yeah, with the limited removal options, Shatterpoint is a good one. And I think I claimed there because I was feeling like I didn't want to let that other 6 damage get through from him. And I was hoping to play Outmaneuver, I think. So I gave up 2 damage to have initiative. I can't remember why. Okay, it is Outmaneuver. So I felt pretty good about that. I'm going to get a big chance there. But now he has another Dooku. And so he's going to exploit his leader and Dooku. Kill 2 of my ships. And he's going to replay my hauler. So now I'm like, oh my goodness, I have no damage. I've already spent 3 this turn. And not going to be able to do much. Get another A-Wing down. He plays my hauler. And I think I claim because I want, I don't know, I want some way to bounce my hauler back, I think, so I don't take the 4 damage from it and can try to start equalizing. Or maybe I'm going to play the Sanctioner's Shuttle to at least capture it and prevent that 4 damage. Now the problem still is Dooku bashing me over the head for 6 a turn. Beguile the hauler back instead because I need to replay it. And he's got another Shatterpoint at direct hit. No disintegration, so he has tons of removal and a Talon's Assassin. So I think I look at his hand and I go, yeah, I think we're done here. He's gonna play an assassin this turn. Yeah, kill my other ship and then kill me next turn. I think I'm on Outmaneuver or bust, and even with an Outmaneuver, I would need to have a trench run and something else, but no, he's just got too much removal in space, so even out remover doesn't save me. So this game goes to Talzin, which I was a little surprised by because I was like, Talzin without force throw, I should be fine here. But he had the tech, and he got it done. All right, so we got Kaz versus Palpatine. This one, Palp Yellow. And something I notice as I'm rewatching these is there's a ISB agent in Randy's hand. And since it is trilogy format, if he has ISB agents in Palpatine, that means he can't have them in Jango. So I am guessing he was thinking Jango was going to be banned as his ban deck the whole time. And so he put the ISB agents in here. And which is interesting. I did something similar with putting the haulers in here and just thinking Han was going to be banned the whole time. So he goes ISB agent and Crumb, gets a ping down on my fireball. And gonna get some damage in. He's just gonna resupply, going up to 3. Drop a not fast Falcon. I think everybody was chuckling about that. Got the bad Falcon in there. And then I think he just claims rather than pick up his Crumb or do any damage. Wants to have initiative to respond to my space fleet and leader flip. He's on 5 here. I'm on 4. Kaz is going to go out this turn. Hopefully start piling up the damage onto his base. He goes for a commandeer. And we talked about this after, is why didn't he commandeer the Falcon? He's like, I don't know, why didn't I commandeer the Falcon? I guess he just had it in his head the turn before. He's like, I'm going to ramp and then I'm going to commandeer his ship. Or he was maybe thinking, it's possible he was thinking I'm going to commandeer the fighter so that I don't get trench run in the face, which is fair. But I'm going to deploy Kaz onto the Falcon. And I'm going to plot a sudden ferocity and just go, I don't think you have a way to deal with this. So he's going to put 3 damage into it. And then I'm going to put 10 damage into his base, I think. Heroic Sack +2, but -1 from the... -1 from the... blanking the Falcon's text about extra pilots, so 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 should be 11. And I think I did 1 too much damage there in the game, but he looked at his cards, he goes, well, I have no way to deal with that. I can't take another 9 to the face to go to 23. And just knowing that, because he didn't draft No Good to Me Dead, so that wasn't an option. I think sneak attack into Legacy Run would have been his only play there, but didn't have it in his hand. So we go to the next matchup, the grindy matchup, Ray versus Palp. And I think I am not too optimistic about this one. Yeah, I know that he has a lot of really big top end, like the 10 cost Devastators and stuff like that, that I'm worried about. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe I can get there on the ground. He's going to lead with Aura. Good turn one play. Got a Yaddle. We will go to turn two.
The Aura goes into the Yaddle. Yaddle's gonna pump. And then we'll see. Is it base? No, it's not going to be base. Gotta kill that Aura. Deny Palp the later draw and the trade. So yeah, just clean it up. Much better play. Because of the resupply there. Previous turn, boss comes down. It's going to kill Mina. I don't have the cards. I think I looked there. I was like, what did I resource? Did I resource a green card? Yeah, I've got 2 Anakins, a Typho, and a Sabine's tie. I think I resourced a green card. I think another Mina. Because I was thinking I don't want to resource an Anakin. Might play Sabine's tie this turn. So yeah, that was probably a mistake there. You need to get as much value as you can out of your units in a matchup like this. Although with Palp's top end, yeah, I don't know. Resourcing, it's tough, tricky part of this game, especially now with Disclose. Palp ramping again to 7, while Ray is on 5. Gonna get some damage in. And I think that was just a claim there from Palp. Looking at the possibility of flipping early next turn. How much damage on the base? 10. Somehow we got to 10. I missed some somewhere. That's okay. Blue leader comes down, cleans up the Bosk. So Palp can flip this turn. Could take a blue leader with 1 health left. Not really a great target. Cad Bane. Hell of a card. Coming in to clean up all the units there. And yeah, that's not great. Considering my only play is an Anakin, which would also get smoked by Cad Bane. I mean, my only impactful play is an Anakin. Ray can't even chip down Cad to get him into kill range. Finally, Palp's going to put some damage on base. And I think Ray is going to heal most of that. So there's no way you're sacrificing into that Cad Bane. Can't remember what else is in my hand. I think I was debating a Vanquish, but I think I kept it because I had no other way to deal with the Devastators that were soon coming. I think I have a Vanquish in my hand. Or maybe it's just 2 Anakins. I can't remember. If I had Vanquish, I probably would have slammed it. So Ray goes to base, heals 3, deals 3. And I can't remember what I named with Galen. I don't think it mattered. I just needed something to slam some damage into that Cad Bane. Some sort of unit on the board. Cad's going to clean up the Ray. I'm going to check what the draw trigger is. I don't want to give him cards. And I'm planning on killing the Cad anyway, so I do not rescue one of my units here. Unfortunately, Anakin leaves it 1 off, and with Ray incapacitated this turn, got to trade in the Galen because I cannot buff the Owen to do that extra 1. Fortunately, I'm going to spend my whole turn getting rid of a Cad, and he has not spent any resources yet as Palp. We'll see if this is... As a Palp player, do you take the Anakin here, or do you hold out for something better? And based on the draft, the best things he could get out of my deck are a Luke or a Kelleran. I guess it also depends on what is in Palp's hand. He's definitely thinking about it, whether he wants to deploy this turn or not. Yeah, looks like he's going to do it. Puts the damage on the Anakin. Owen's going to heal too. Palp's going to come, take the Anakin. I took the damage off it for some reason when I moved it over there. And then he also plots the first light, which draws him a card and kills my blue leader. And I was like, okay, this is getting bad. Tough sledding here for Ray. Need a Kelleran or a Luke to start equalizing this board. I do not have home one. Somebody else drafted that. I think I played a couple copies of the Radis. So that could come in and take out first light, but it would take a few actions. I think it should have a damage on him. I don't know. Yeah, I took the dice off when I gave him control. But the math, I guess the math could work. Typho and Yaddle could clear it. Typho going to base. I know that he does not have walkers in his deck or vigilance, so he doesn't have healing. So if I could just... Oh, he wouldn't have vigilance anyway. Sorry, he's Palp Yellow. Doesn't have walkers in his deck. So if I can just keep pushing damage, maybe we get there. Yeah, I guess that one missed damage did make a little bit of impact, because right now I could trade the Yaddle into Anakin before Palp kills Yaddle, if that one damage was there. I instead timely, and I think Yeah, I think ultimately the damage doesn't matter because if I'm remembering my hand, I didn't really have another play. I was all in on the timely Anakin line. So the -3 takes him out. 1 damage, inconsequential. Ambushes into Palp. Palp's going to kill the Adel. Not sure why I didn't attack the base first there. I'm going to have initiative at the end of this turn anyway. Thought about maybe going into Palp with Owen there, but just going to get the heal. Oops. Just going to get the heal for now. Must have something I'm content to play next turn. But yeah, it seems like, oh, and there's Cad the second, which is bad news, Bears. The fact that I haven't played a Kelleran or a Luke yet makes me think I maybe should have ran into Owen to draw one of those top end studs. Oh, that's right, I think I'm saving the Entrenched for the Devastator. I'm just committing to never playing in space again. So it's not looking good for Ray. It's not terrible. If this Anakin can somehow survive, then, get another chunk of damage. Village Protectors, that'll help possibly make it survive. But Palp has a full grip of cards and all his resources untapped. So chances are he's got a way to deal with that. It's going to be the Waylay on the Village Protectors. I do not have enough resources left to replay them, so I'm just going to buff the Owen. And then what's he going to do? He's going to change a Heart the Anakin and use Palp to fling him into Owen. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like a Palp yellow thing to do. And Palp's damage is also going to go into Owen to clear him off. And I'm going to draw Luke. Looks like he thought about playing a Lothcat, but kept it in his hand. I think that's what that card was. I couldn't quite see it. Couple entrenched sitting there, waiting for the Devastators to come down. Obi-Wan and a Luke. Luke would clean up the Emperor, but then I was thinking he would just get Devastators right away. So I went with the Obi first, hoping the Emperor has to trade into it. He's just going to hammer 5 into base with the first light there. You can see he's got multiple legacy runs. Looks like a couple sneak attacks, another change of heart. I'm just dropping sentinels. Clogging up the ground, trying to set something up behind that wall that maybe will stick. Yeah, looks like Frozen Carbonate, a couple legacy runs, McClunky, maybe a couple sneaks. Legacy run won't quite clear my board here, but Palp will certainly be able to finish it off, although he will have to trade into whatever lives, either the Obi-Wan or the Village Protectors. I know he doesn't have a ton of tools for dealing with wide boards, so I'm just trying to get as many units out as I can. So the one from Palp to take off the shield. 4 and 2 on Obi-Wan. 3 to the village people. 2 on Obi-Wan. Or is it 6? Does Legacy Run do 6? I should know this. Yeah. JTL card hasn't rotated yet. Gotta get used to it. He's just gonna waylay it anyway because he doesn't want Palp to run into it, and I had already claimed. There's the Loth Cat now. Alright, so he attacked the village protectors with Palp, but then killed it with the Legacy Run trigger, so Palp didn't take damage. Clever girl. So we're looking to go Typho into Luke, it looks like. We still need a plan for that first light. It just keeps bopping us in the head every turn. Contracted Hunters, Crumb, 2 sneak attacks. Not a lot of big threats in Palp's hand right now, but lots of interaction. And on the other hand, I, as the Ray player, have not been able to get any damage on his base in the last 3 turns. 4 turns. That's not good. Not good. So I finally bite the bullet, take out the Luke. Or sorry, to use Luke to take out the Palp. At this point, I'm like, you gotta have a Devastator right now, by now, right? And he goes, nope, I don't have one. So check his deck to see how many cards are left there. I was like, oh, must have 3 Devastators in the bottom 20 cards, 15 cards. He's drawn quite a few. Crumb to heal 1. Clunky on Luke. I'm assuming it's going to end with Luke dead, so I just kind of put the damage there. Yeah, there we go. So that is going to get another 3 in. Deal 4 to Luke and 2 to Typho. Oh no, the Loth Cat did 2 to Typho. And then 6 on top of it. We're trying to do the math now. So we figure out the math. The extra 2 plus the 6 from the Lothcat and the Legacy Run dying at the end of the turn, it ends up with Typho on 1 life. And since I'd already claimed, he just jams a Crumb in there as his other action before we move on to the next turn. Math is hard, folks. Math is hard. I say this as a former English teacher who had to substitute for many a calculus and math 10, 11, 12 classes where I just walked in and said, sorry, kids, I can't help you. You're on your own. Used to be able to do it, but that was 25 years ago. Looking pretty grim for Ray. Oh, I take back the hit from Typho. I get the heal for 1. I entrench the first light as my first action, realizing I can't take that damage anymore. I should have entrenched it a long time ago, but I was saving those for the Devastators that he never drew. So, heal 1 from Typho, then play the Obi-Wan. I think the problem is Pulp's hand right now is like nothing good, and then just a bunch of events, and my hand is like also awkward, and I'm kind of like playing around Devastator still or something. I don't know. Eventually I think so yeah, I only played Obi-Wan there. He killed it, drew a card, healed again with Crumb, ramped again. I still haven't drawn a Kelleran. I've got another entrench. Emergency entrench. Taking a damage. There's a Kelleran. Finally. Way too little, too late. Play up to 5. Don't have Amidalas. Darren drafted those. Cornet or Typho. Or Galen. Okay, I think I play Galen here and named Devastator. I'm still playing around Devastator. He puts an Eager Escort Fighter down as just some more damage in the skies. Pretty sure I have claimed. He's gonna ping to draw. He's gonna look through his discard pile and say, how is it possible that I haven't drawn a Devastator yet? Although at this point, Galen is preventing their entering play. That's what he's looking for. Palp's return. And I know he's getting back a Cad Bane. Capture the Kelleran. Now he's got tons of damage on board. I have no board. Maybe I'm running Nebula Ignition times 1 or 2? Maybe. We pay 7 for no glory only results. Too bad we've already played 2 of our Anigans. I got 5 left. Palp has infinite cards. He's going to change a heart on the Galen Urso. Yaddle comes down pointlessly. And I do the math. That's going to be game 4. And the Crumb. Yep. GG. Interesting rule question, though. If you change of heart a Galen, can you play the card he's named now that you control him? Does his effect wear off? And Randy looks at the bottom 10 or 11 cards of his deck. There's 3 Devastators and 3 Vaders in there, I think. So even with that terrible luck, Ray could not get over the finish line. Randy improves to 1-1. I drop to 0-2.